welcome to livealittlehigher.com. In the book of Shem Shmuel, we learn about Parasha Eikev. This week we read this parasha. And at the end of the Sidra, at the end of the parasha, there's a verse that says, "For if you will surely keep all of this mitzvah, which I command you to do, it to love the Lord your God, to go in all of his ways, and to cleave to him." So the Midrash notes that there's like a discrepancy in this verse, because it's not talking about keeping the mitzvot, it's talking about in singular. It's telling us, for if you surely keep all of this mitzvah, it's in a singular form. And what does it mean, this mitzvah? What is it talking about? So Rabbi Levi says that what the verse is talking about, it's talking about the Shema. It's talking about the mitzvah of reciting the Shema. And the rabbis don't think the same as Rabbi Levi. And the rabbis say that this is the Shabbat. This is what it's referring to keep the Shabbat, because Shabbat is like all mitzvahs contained in one. So Rabbi Levi claims that the mitzvah is reading the Shema, while the rabbis say that it's, on the other hand, it claims that it's the Shabbat. And it refers to Shabbos. So the primary function of the Shema Israel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, is that we should love God with all our heart, all our soul, and all our might, and that we have to recognize that everything is God. Echad, it's one. Everything is Hashem. So this is the function of the Shema, is to accept that God is the whole universe. Hashem is everything. Einod milvado. And it says here that our relationship with Him promotes certain duties of the heart. Actually, when we recognize that God is the King, that God is everything, that God rules, we have certain responsibilities towards Him. And we have duties of the heart, mind, and soul, and body. So, of course, this is the affirmation must be uttered with great concentration. When we say the Shema, we have to do it with all concentration and with all not distractions, and really thinking about it, about what this entails. And we have to mentally divorce ourselves from the mundane issues of the world, from anything that is materialistic and mundane. We have to really put our heads into what life is all about, and that Hashem really is the one that takes care of everything. So this is the key to understanding why Rabbi Levi said that when the verse says you will surely keep all this mitzvah, it is referring to the Shema, because he considers the Shema to be the mitzvah mentioned in this verse. In reality, the entire Torah system reflects this aim. Everything we do with the Torah, the learning of Torah and the fulfilling of the mitzvot, really come to the same meaning. Everything is about recognizing Hashem as the King of the world, and that we're here to fulfill His mitzvot. So the mitzvah performance and Torah study are the means through which we may draw close to God. So we know that in Aramaic, the word tzva, which comes from mitzvah, it's a root word, means connection, and this is the way that we connect to God. You know, when you want to connect to somebody in this world, you use your phone, you WhatsApp them, you send them a text message, you can email them, you can call them, you can see them personally, and these are ways of connecting to other people. But in relation with God, our connection to Hashem really comes from our mitzvot, from the fulfilling of His will in this world. And the Torah is actually His wisdom and His will. He's there. The Torah is what Hashem wants from us. So the Shema is a paradigm of the entire system, and it's thus the mitzvah. But then the rabbis claim that it is the Shabbat which is the mitzvah, because Shabbos is described by the sages as fixed and established. So this means that man has no control as to when Shabbat occurs. Like, we have no control. We don't designate the seventh day. This is something that was given to us by Hashem from the first day of creation. It says He created the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day God rested. So it's not the same with the Yom Tovs, with the Yom Tovim. because these were decreed by the Beis Din. These were decreed by the Sanhedrin, and it came in the times of the Beit HaMikdash that the Jewish people looked at the sky and they saw that there was a full moon, so they knew that the day there was a full moon, that was the 15th of the month, that was the mid time of the month. Like today we are into Tu B'Av. Today is the 15th of Av, is the happiest day of the Jewish calendar next to Yom Kippur. And so they saw the sky, they saw the full moon, and they knew that it was the 15th of the month. And by witnessing this, they would come to program all the festivals and all the Jewish calendar. So the Jewish calendar is something that is man-made. On the other hand, it's man-made, but it's with the moon. It's a moon calendar. But the Shabbat, it's something that really was given to us by God himself. It's a fixed time that Hashem gave to us. Nobody can play with it. So this too is a paradigm for the whole Torah system, because Klal Israel is intended and expected to be a holy nation. God created the Torah. The Torah really is the blueprint of creation. This is the architectural plan for the world, because Hashem intends the Jewish people to be a holy people. We're not meant to be spiritual beings. We are that anyways, but more than spiritual, we have to be holy. And the way in which a Jew maintains himself holy is through the performance of the mitzvot. So, and by doing the mitzvah, this provides the opportunity for us to infuse the world and every part of our bodies with the sanctity and holiness of Hashem. So we know that there are 248 positive mitzvahs that are the ones that we do, and then there's 365 which are negative, which are prohibitive mitzvahs that we abstain from, and they're connected to our sinews and our limbs. So we have 248 limbs and we have 365 sinews, and every mitzvah is connected to a part of your body which brings that divine energy into your being, and this is what sustains you. So we see here that perhaps this can give us a small insight into the dispute between Rabbi Levi and the rabbis, who claimed that the mitzvah is reciting the Shema, Rabbi Levi, and the rabbis claimed that the mitzvah was connected to Shabbat. So we see here that the rabbis who claimed that Shabbos is the mitzvah, they really believed, in contrast, that the most basic purpose of the system is to receive the divine gift of spirituality. It's to be able to become a vessel, to become a keli, in which the divinity, divine light, divine energy can really come into the world. So Rabbi Levi finds the quintessential mitzvah to be one which takes man to God. The rabbis find it to be one which brings God to man. So there's two relationships with Hashem. We see in the previous parasha by Hanan, we read the first part of the Shema Israel, and this first part of the Shema Israel teaches us to bind ourselves with Hashem. It's to take ourselves to God. We draw God down to the world. When we do Shema Israel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, we say Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. This is the right way to say it, Kabbalistically, because what you're doing is you're going north, south, east, and west, and then you're going like this. So what you're doing is you're drawing down the light of God into every corner of the world. So you're bringing God to the world. This is what the first part of the Shema does. It brings Hashem down. But the second part of the Shema, which is the one that we read in Parasha Eikev, brings us to God. So it's a reciprocal relationship. It has to go both ways. We have to draw God down to the world through the performance of our mitzvot, of wanting to be with Him, of revealing Him in this world. But at the same time, by doing the mitzvot and keeping Hashem's words, we bring ourselves up to God. So it goes hand in hand. It has to be a reciprocal relationship. It cannot be a one-way street. And that's why the word Eikev is also alludes to the heel. The heel is the lowest part of the body. It's a very strong bone, and really if the heel breaks, you cannot stand. You cannot stand. It won't hold your body. So the heel, it says that we trample with our heels, that sometimes we take mitzvahs very lightly. We think that there's the big mitzvahs that are the ones that are important, like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and we keep Shabbos, and these are the important ones. And then we take the minor mitzvahs, like love your fellow like yourself, or give tzedakah, or all these things, and sometimes we think they're not so important, or if I turn the switch on Shabbos or not, does God really care? And we think that there's some mitzvahs that are more important than others, and in reality what this parasha is teaching us is that for Hashem, every mitzvah matters. They're all interconnected, they're all chained together, they're part of a beautiful necklace. When one is missing, then the whole thing is not complete. It's part of a system. It's a part of bringing God down and going up to Him. It has to go both ways. So I want to wish you a blessed week, and remember, live a little higher. Thank you.